Hello, What Culture? It's me, Simon Miller, and welcome to the Y Series, the series where we take a topical wrestling subject and we break it down and we play Devil's Advocate. If you don't know what Devil's Advocate is, I implore you to go and research it, and then you understand what we're doing here, and you can join in with the Miller Wiggle, which, as you know, sometimes we just bust out, and I instantly regret. If you did tune into Raw's 20th anniversary the other day, though, you'll know a few things. You'll know the Stone Cold Steve Austin game of Stone Cold Stunner to Vince McMahon. You'll know The Undertaker cut a really, really strange promo. And you also know that D-Generation X kicked the Revival's ass. So I think WWE screwed the Revival at Raw 25. Why? Here's why. Some information to begin. Apparently at one point this spot, or the spot where DX were going to kick somebody's ass, were apparently meant to be for Enzo Amore. Now there are other reports that say Enzo Amore's role was meant to be with the Dudley Boys, but who knows. The point is, Enzo Amore did not appear on Raw 25, and if you don't know why, go and watch the What Culture video that will explain it to you, or once again, Google is your friend. We ain't talking about that here. Clearly WWE thought they did need to have this skit though, so they scanned the backstage scene, they looked around, they stared their eyes into other people's eyes, and eventually they found the Revival and went, they'll do. No. Now the rumour has always been, and there is enough evidence to support it, that somebody, or just WWE as a unit, totally believe that if you're a new superstar and they put you in the ring with some legends, that you'll get the rub, even if those legends proceed to then whip your ass. It doesn't matter what you do to each other, even if you are on the losing end of things or the weak side of things, because you're in the ring with the guys that we all remember from our childhood, that means now, somehow, you're big stars. Apparently, location is everything when it comes to getting to the top of the card. As long as you're close to these people, their aura will just ooze into you, and then all of a sudden, you'll be headlining pay-per-views. Now, this would have worked if Dash and Dawson had kicked Shawn Michaels and Triple H's behind. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. You tune into Raw 25, here's two dudes you've seen basically for your entire wrestling life, and then the young, upcoming rookies got the better of them. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be sitting in my chair watching wrestling television going, well, these guys must have something. They just beat up world champions. I better keep an eye on these guys. Who knows what's next for these guys? These guys are clearly very talented, and these guys can clearly beat anybody because they just beat up Triple H and Shawn Michaels. If we go the other way, however, which we did, all we end up is a couple of established guys beat two guys that are trying to establish themselves. How has that helped anything? Who has that helped? What am I meant to take away from this going forward? Aside from it just being a nice moment that we could all enjoy, what did it do? What did it do, and what did it do for the Revival? I don't think they're any cooler because they took a couple of famous finishers. I don't think they're any better wrestlers. The wrestlers that I gravitate towards are the ones that whoop people's ass. Hashtag whoop people's ass. I've said that now about 7 times. But Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, these people go out there and they dominate. And I think to myself, wow, aren't they scary, really, really exciting people? Yes, they are. If that's how WWE sees the Revival, fine. That's not up to me. That's their company, and if you think they found their spot and it's here, good luck to you. I hope it goes well. But given that the tag team division right now has loads of potential, and the only thing it's lacking is teams, and Dash and Dawson are a really good team, something here doesn't add up to me. And that's why I don't get why we did this. I mean, yeah, in the modern pro wrestling world, especially in WWE, we move forward at such a rampant pace that actually what happened 7 days ago doesn't matter in a week's time, and that's a problem in itself, but it does mean come Raw on Monday, we can probably just see the Revival win a tag team match and go, who cares what happened before? But again, it didn't achieve anything, and surely at some point you gotta pick the future and make sure they start achieving things. That's even more true if you go back to the Enzo stuff. I mean, I'm talking about the Enzo within WWE here, because ultimately we'd been conditioned to believe he was just a comedy character. That's what he was. That's why he was put on 205 Live. I know the show was built around him, but ultimately he was the fall guy, and he was always going to be the fall guy. He was mostly kept around because he was selling loads of merchandise, but he was not your serious main eventer, hence why somebody comes up with the concept of Triple H giving him a pedigree, you can go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. We're nowhere near finding out where the Revival are going to fit into the pack at the moment, especially because of all the injuries they've suffered. Because of those, we should be doing everything to protect them so we can find their level. And once you find your level, cool, do whatever you want, but we don't know. So you may actually be holding them back by just hurling them into segments like this. And sure, the flip side to that is, well, Simon, they haven't found the momentum. So right now we can do whatever we want and we can just start anew next week. But never start anew next week. That's like when January rolls around and people go, oh, it's the 1st of January. I'll start my new diet tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, you go, oh, I'll do it on Wednesday. And eventually it's like, what are you doing? Start your diet. Let's do the same here. Let's start as we mean to go on with power and with venom. Again, this ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference either way because WWE will just forget about it in a blink of an eye, much like they will with most of Raw's 25th anniversary. But still, it was a stupid move and therefore I feel like we've got to call it out, especially when there were other guys that could have fit into this role if it was meant for Enzo and he went away. Kurt Hawkins, for example. I love Kurt Hawkins. I think he's underused, but his gimmick right now is he just loses all the time. See what I'm getting at here? And yeah, you could say, but then how would they have worked on all the Balor Club stuff and the Two Sweets and all of that? But did it really tie in? Did it really? Did it really? No, it did not. It was just a thing to have a thing on a show that just had lots of things because we all love nostalgia and we all love taking our memories and going back to the past, which is another issue in itself. How good was that Vince McMahon Austin segment? Best thing on Raw in years, right? You're going to get to next week when Roman Reigns come out, you're going to be like, you're not Steve Austin. And you never will be. But we will wait and see what happens with the Revival now. In my dream world, by the end of the year, they're some of the hottest tag team champions we've had in a long time, and they've proven that professional wrestling isn't dead, and neither is cutting off the ring. I love when Dash and Dawson cut off the ring. They are like Tully and Arn. And I love Tully and Arn. And Tully and Arn would never have taken moves from D-Generation X in their prime. Probably not true. That probably did happen and I've forgotten, but it doesn't suit my argument, so I'm choosing to ignore it. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about the Revival on Raw and what you want from the future. Like, share and subscribe. Go and follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. You'll have a great time. And read some articles on What Culture at whatculture.com. My name is Simon Miller. You've been watching What Culture. This was the Y series. I'm just over 6 feet tall. I weigh about 16 stone. Some people say my BMI is actually over the limit, but that's only because the BMI doesn't take muscle into consideration. I'm bald, I've got blue eyes. At the moment I have a beard, but sometimes I shave that beard off. My middle name is Jeremy, and that's all the information you need to know. Love ya.
So, thanks for watching. Please feel free to click on any of these things around my head, or something terrible might happen to the dog. Too sweet me, bro. Traitor. Traitor.